Hey, Josh. Morning, Michael Nolan. Just waiting for Josh, guys. Just waiting for Josh. Got a lot to talk about today. I mean, we always do, but I believe Josh better get here soon, by the way, because I have a bunch of calls set up this morning. If you want to ask me any questions, you got a few minutes to do that. Good morning, Gavin has some questions. Good morning, all six of you. Is paint drying somewhere? Hilariously original joke, Benton W. Stephen Cordero, he is not still sleeping. We've been chatting already.
Good morning.
Josh.
Yeah.
We're live. On YouTube, though. On YouTube. Only the sexy people go to YouTube. The lame people go to the lame people go to Facebook. Now listen, you can't spend all your whole time looking at YouTube comments either.
I'm not even gonna have it open. It's too early for that crap.
Good, don't. We'll do our thing. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the August 19th edition of Obstacle Discourse with Davis and Chace, where your safety has plummeted down to number 7 on our priority list. My name is Matt B. Davis. With me, as always, Josh Chace.
Good morning, sir.
Josh, I'm also wearing Spartan. I'm wearing North Lake, Tahoe. RIP, Tahoe World Championship.
RIP.
RIP. Josh, there's an awful lot to talk about. I feel like, as there always is, we're going to start in Tech Corner, where one Matt Davis thought it's probably okay to live stream something from another network that they've paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to produce. The question is, Josh, how did Amazon bust me? I understand how music works. Like music, they've got some magic, Shazam, hey Siri, play this for me. Like they know, they can recognize a song when it's on a thing. How does a television program know? Was it the title? If I did the spiders see the title? Talk to me, Josh.
Very complicated algorithms that very smart people write that are well above you and I's level of knowledge. Yeah, it's not like it's even a human like that does it. It's probably just some software platform that says, hey, some guy thinks he can just go ahead and stream Amazon's Eco Challenge to YouTube. Shut you down.
So again, I feel like songs are easy to detect inside of, because it just seems like a song is easier than a show. Just, I don't know why, Josh, I can't put words to it, but the entire show, maybe it's as simple as the title, maybe it's not. But I'll be honest with you, when I was talking back and forth with the producers and PR people about putting content out, one of the things they suggested was like, oh, you could do a watch party. So I'm like, cool, I'll do that in my mind, like Facebook or YouTube. And then when I went to Amazon and it says launch watch party, I'm like, oh, that's what they meant. They meant on their platform.
Oh, you mean not illegally distributing it without your permission. Got it.
Right. So here's the thing about YouTube. I screenshotted it. I think I saved it. I think they're pretty nice about it. I'm going to go ahead and share it, Josh, and read it to the audio listeners. Because it's pretty nice. It says your live stream, Ego Challenge Episode 1, was removed because it violates our spam, deceptive practices, and scams policy. Because it's the first time, this is just a warning. If it happens again, your channel will get a strike and you won't be able to do things like upload, post, or live stream for 1 week. A second strike will prevent you from publishing for 2 weeks. 3 strikes in any 90-day period will result in the permanent removal of your channel. So I think that's pretty fair.
So that's fair. You might not have known. You could not. I mean, obviously you didn't know.
So, because I know people people freak out on Facebook. What happened? You know, somebody reported me and I'm in Facebook jail for a week. What the fuck? So I think super fair. And it's so fair that I didn't even, like, I did post it on Facebook. Deanna and I went on and it was on Facebook and they didn't do anything to that. They let it be because the little spiders didn't see it, or for whatever reason. I go, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take it down. Like, I got a freebie. And anyway, so yeah, they didn't shut me down. They just said, don't do that again.
It's fair enough.
So let's talk about this television program, which you really like, and I'm very meh on. Josh, tell me what you like about Eco Challenge, the world's toughest race. I'm Bear Grylls.
I was wondering how many seconds before the Bear Grylls accent came out, and the answer is like literally none. Yeah, I mean, what did I like? Well, I mean, first off, it was entertaining for me, right? You get to watch these athletes doing what is probably one of the world's toughest races. But I don't know exactly what it was. Like the human interest stories are always a part of reality TV. I know Matt's gonna tell you that he hates people in a second, and he doesn't give a shit about any of that. I definitely would have liked more focus on like the racing part of it, and the focusing on the athletes. You're always going to get, you know, the what do I have in my family story, right? We saw a ton of this guy Mace who had Alzheimer's.
That guy had Alzheimer's? I wasn't aware. I don't think they reminded me enough.
That's cute. I loved that story. I thought it was excellent. I thought it was well done. You know, fuck, like it's a tearjerker just seeing the dude push on, like literally hunched over, not even just the Alzheimer's, literally hunched over. They actually sort of shifted the narrative a little bit towards the end of it. It was like, it started with the Alzheimer's thing, and they'd have video clips of him like not figuring out how to put his gloves on properly and be like, all right, Dad, we're going this way. Right. But then the focus just moved towards this guy is just beaten down. His back is wrecked. He like can't walk upright. He's trying to ride on a horse, but they can't do that either. And I thought that storyline was great. You know, I definitely later on, like I started finding teams that I wish they would have showed more of, like that team Curl from the US, the Surfer Bros. They were hilarious. And then they didn't even get any footage really until like the last 2 or 3 episodes. Are we going to talk about spoilers? Is that okay?
Yes, it's okay to talk about spoilers. Don't listen. Hang on. We'll give you a moment. You're on your run. You're stopping. Shit, I don't want to hear spoilers. Hang on a second. Okay, pause. Okay, go.
So I can't believe Team Curl, the dude blows it. Like on this, when I saw the video of them riding their bikes down the mountain, I was like, they are going dangerously fast right now. And that one dude wipes out, and granted, there could have been something else, but like, it just looks like he was a little roughed up. Wasn't that bad?
Yeah.
And they bailed like one leg from the finish line. And I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll get those guys in the show, because I think that's one of those things where he said to the guy, can we just quit? And he was like, yeah, man. And if he had said, you know what, let's just take a moment, let's take 30, let's take an hour and see how we feel. But who knows? They might have been like, who knows, right? We don't know. So I've been interviewing these teams, and I want you to listen to those episodes. So I don't want to repeat myself too much, but I will, because I've already said some of these things to some of the people. But I'll just go ahead. I'll do the sweeping conversation. Josh, you're in the entertainment industry, sort of. We both have production experience. We both know if you're making this program, you can only show what you have, right? You can't. So the best example, actually, Rhea gave me yesterday. Rhea gave me a great one yesterday to have people understand. We were making content for World's Toughest Mudder 2018. And we're out there shooting. I forgot the obstacle. You come through a tube and it's cold. This girl comes out with a leader bib on. We go, who are you? I'm Aaron Rost. Do you know what place you're in? Yeah, they just told me I was second. So we can't make a documentary about Aaron Rost now because we don't have Aaron Rost. Maybe we'll find, there's Aaron. There's Aaron in the middle of the night. Let's use that, right? You can only show what you have. So 60 teams. From my count, they featured about 20 of them. And when I say featured, I mean more than just like, here they come into the finish line. At least one conversation. At least one conversation. Like Team East Wind, they catch them DNFing. That's all we get from them, but they still count. So about a third of the teams they have footage with, right? So they can only show us what they have. However, I do think they could have divvied it up slightly better, because I was aware of Macy's Alzheimer's every episode, and I was made aware that stray dogs were really old. Put a pin in the stray dogs conversation because I want to talk about them. And God bless the team that went out first. We spent an episode and a half on them not making it. That was far too. No, not Team Bend. Bend was the team that got really tired, and that the guy got sunbaked.
Heat exhaustion. Yeah.
I'm talking about the very first team to get DNF'd. Unbreakable.
Oh, Unbroken. Team Unbroken.
We spent an episode and a half on them, Josh.
Yeah.
Just to show. Well, guess what, guys? We're going to sleep again. Okay. Pretty sure you're not going to make it through this first segment. You're going to sleep twice before the first checkpoint.
Yeah. You're not going to race at night. What? You were expecting to finish? What? That's not how that works.
Right. I mean, I understand they didn't want to get on the water at night, but anyway, they made a really bad choice early on about not, about backtracking. And then it was like, so when all that was over, you're like, okay, now can we move on, please, from this team? So that's kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah, Team Unbroken was very much unmatched and very unprepared. And their captain seemed like he had no idea what was going on. And the other guy on Team Unbroken hated that captain.
Correct.
He was like, you're the captain. I'll respect what you want. So I guess that's what we'll do, which is categorically him saying, fuck you. This is the worst decision I've ever been a part of. Team Bend, though, their story, I think, was great. And sadly, we got them at the beginning and then them at the end. They go out hard. They're like, we're going for the top team placement, blah, blah, blah. We're just going to power through this paddle. And I forget what was the paddle, like 40K or something stupidly long. We don't need a sail. We're just going to gun through it. And they finish first. And then they drop to literally last because this poor dude is dying of heat exhaustion. And then they make their way all the way back to like 14th place, which is fucking insane. So good on them. That was cool. And listen, let's just get to the one thing everybody's going to talk about. Ryan and Rhea, Bob, and I forgot the third guy's name. Or the fourth guy's name, rather. Team Canada Adventure. Everybody's going to say it because we're all obstacle course racing fans. We all want this to be the Ryan and Rhea show. They didn't get enough coverage, but Rhea and Ryan both did a bunch of Q&A on Instagram, and they lay it out. Nobody really knew them in adventure racing, right? If we're watching, we know them and we know what kind of athletes they are. But if you're looking at Eco Challenge as a historical event, it's New Zealand, it's Australia. Like those guys are always the number one, competitors. The thing that I don't necessarily agree with is this show hasn't been on TV or broadcast in some form or fashion in almost 10 years, I think. And stop trying to build up this like rivalry for these teams that we don't know anything about. The goal is to get sort of a new audience, right? You're going to get the old audience because they're just going to want to see something Eco Challenge related. But if you want to build a rivalry, you have to give us like something to show. They didn't show any broadcast video or anything from prior events. So this whole like Team New Zealand's first and the Kiwis are getting chased by the Australians, like that didn't really resonate for me. But the primary reason Team Canada didn't have any coverage is one, the majority of the time they didn't even have a cameraman with them.
Correct.
They didn't even get a cameraman to them until they're like, hey, these guys are third. Maybe we should actually get a cameraman with them.
Right. And this is the Aaron Ross situation where we only see them coming into pit stops because it's like New Zealand is amazing. And here's all the last place teams. And then let's quickly show you the top four as they come running in because they didn't have it. Which is, again, I wouldn't expect them to. I did want to show you this really quickly. This is my conversation yesterday. Do you know who that is?
Oh yeah, that's Team Bet.
Yeah, so they were great. Jason here was busting.
Was he the curly-haired captain guy?
Yeah, this is Jason, and this is Dan. And I started reaching out to them, and they were immediately in the message of each other, like busting balls and talking about Jason running around in his underwear. So I knew they were going to be a good guest. So they're great. They'll be coming up soon. And I asked them a lot of good questions, which I don't want to spoil here, but I asked a lot of good questions. About difficulty of the race versus other races, about what kind of medical help you can get. I'm going to ask all the teams, most of the teams, this question. But the equivalency, of Ryan and Rhea is every time we hear like, oh, this person's gotten at OCR, like, they're a marathoner. They won the 5K in NCAA Division II 2 years ago. And we go, yeah, whatever, we'll see. So, Ryan and Rhea get in there and like, great. These are two, world-class athletes and the best people ever in OCR at 24 hours, but 24 hours is not 72 or a week. So yeah, they didn't know. And that's fine. And I think it's great. And I think it as you learn with my interview with them, it gave them a chip on their shoulder, which was great. So, I'm really proud of them. They did.
And then next year, like if you think they didn't get coverage this year, just wait till next year. Like they're gonna be front, like the storyline now, right? These semi-rookie adventure racers show up, right? Bob Miller as the captain is a veteran guy. He's been doing it for a while. But like these rookie Canadians show up, nobody knew who they were. They come in second, they dominate the field and beat everybody else. What I looked at yesterday, I looked at the results with all the times, and it was like, New Zealand finishes in 141 hours.
Did you find that guy's spreadsheet? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. This is on the US Adventure Race website, which I am now looking at because I want to do one of these friggin' races.
You dork.
Like an hour and a half later, Team Canada finishes.
Can you send me the link in the chat? Because I want to make sure we're looking at the same thing.
Yes. sending you the link. I'm narrating everything that I'm doing as I do it, which makes for great podcasting. I have hit enter. There you go. So Team New Zealand finishes the race, 141 hours. Canada, Ryan and Rhea, finishes just 90 minutes behind. At the very end, they gave me a lot of false hope. Like, the way they showed it on the map, it was like Team Canada literally passing New Zealand. We're going to talk about New Zealand's finish in a second. And then the Australian team, Gippsland Adventure, finishes 2 hours behind the leader. So you get finisher, 90 minutes back, 2 hours back. Fourth place was 10 and a half hours back. So
right.
it wasn't even, I say it wasn't even close. In an 11-day race, 10 hours is not a big deal. But how well Ryan and Rhea did, I think, is very underestimated. But again, we don't have a lot of footage or coverage from it, so I can't.
Hey, can I do a quick thing? I guess this is normal in adventure racing, but I'm just going to make one suggestion as a newbie. How about 6 days, 34 hours, and how about that? How about give us a days instead of 240 hours? What's the first thing I'm going to do? How many fucking days is that? I got to convert. Come on, man. Just put 5D, right? 17H, right? Like, come on.
All right.
I know I'm new. Maybe I'm speaking sacrilegiously. But yeah, so
listen, no, they don't come into our sport and start trying to change things, okay?
But there's also this whole thing about penalties. I'm learning. I'm in this other Facebook group. That's why I was asking where you saw it, where people were questioning the times because there's penalties assessed and there's dark periods. There's a lot we don't know, Josh. I'm not surprised that you want to do it because you're one of those dorks that wanted to be on Survivor, and this is everything you want, right? This is like, this is your buddy Mark Burnett's like thing. So I'm not surprised that you want to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of penalties, so that was the other thing that was very interesting, right? So they have these dark zones that you get to where essentially the first one we saw, I think, was the canyon rafting section where you just can't do it at night. It's either too dangerous or, they're not going to let you do it. So I was like, okay, you get to this dark zone and they stop your race. And I was like, okay, when they restart, they're going to let you out with the lead that you had when you came in. It's like, okay, if you came in 20 minutes before a team, but the course has to stop you, you'll go out with that lead. Sort of what they do at like Ragnar Relay, right? If they have to stop the course for lightning, it's like, all right, whatever the first place team was, they go out first and then everybody else is time behind it. That's not how it is. Everybody gets to the dark zone and then it's a shotgun start again. Like everybody goes. The more I think about that, the more I actually like it, because then Team New Zealand had that point where they were going up Vua Falls. And go ahead, Matt,
this Vua Falls section is the most treacherous on this race.
I would just like to point out that I love Bear Grylls, and I take full offense to everything Matt is saying about it.
Was it Vua Falls or Vua? He started calling it Vua, then just Vua.
The caption just said Vua Falls to me. So,
Josh, I thought at first that was a problem. And then I thought, well, not really, because if I get into that camp 3 hours ahead of you, I've gotten 3 more hours of rest. So that's the
true.
That's the but that's one of the questions I want to ask as well about dark zones and when they stop the race, those poor Estonians caught in the middle
God,
in the canyon.
That was great. That was great though.
Fucking camera guys helping everybody get across, like they're all fucked in that canyon.
And that's the other thing is like the cameramen were embedded with a lot of these teams, and those poor guys, like, not only did the cameramen have to like film all of this while navigating the terrain, they also played the part of like interviewer a lot of times. Like when they were like asking them questions like, hey, how do you feel right now? I'd be like, this fucking sucks. Like the camera guy's doing all of this. And then, so Team New Zealand makes that decision to go up Vua Falls in the middle of the night. And you're like, oh shit, what are you going to do? And that they went out, what did they say? Like 3 or 4 hours, like as a head start sort of on the other teams. Now, I think Ryan said that they ended up needing to sleep because they had required like sleep or rest time. So I don't know if it would have made a difference, but when you think about it, right? New Zealand went out 3 or 4 hours ahead of time to conquer Vua Falls, but Canada only lost by an hour and a half. Like, had they gone out that night, how different would the race have been in that case? So
Yeah, but the more I talk to these teams, everybody is lost for like hours at any given point.
Yeah, they said they had like a 5-hour, time frame
when I talked to Team Bend, and they were like talking about a previous race, and they're like, yeah. And then we get on, I think it was only like a 6-hour trek. Like 6 hours or 8 hours is a short section of a race. And that's why I want no part of it. Josh, you want to carry your fucking bicycle for 7 hours?
Not to this, no. Like if there's like, so a lot of these adventure races that are on the website are like 8 hours and 24 hours. I'll start with an 8-hour race.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything insane. 24 hours. I think that would be cool.
Well, then I'll do that with you then. If you're because somebody asked me, I got a call. I won't say who, said, hey, do you want to sign up for Patagonia? I was like, do you know me at all? Like,
Matt, come on, Matt, you, me, and 2 lucky Discord honks in Patagonia. Come on now. That would be amazing.
Josh, how many hours without Dunkin' Donuts coffee do you think I could go before being a cranky bitch? How many hours without eating before I'm already a cranky bitch?
We can give you caffeine pills. It's fine. Okay. We can bring those.
Oh my God. We would be hilarious. For TV, we would be hilarious. Because
the local Patagonians would have Colombian coffee waiting for you. I know those 2 places are not near each other.
Josh, you and I would fight so much. It would be like great television. But not enjoyable. Yeah, I'd love to start a short. I'd love to start a short one, maybe. Like doing Vua Falls, right? That looks amazing, right? And according to Team Bend, they were like, you just clip on and go. That's not like climbing. That's not what we really do. Because again, I was asking about, is it now? Clearly, it's long and scary, but you literally clip on and just do this business, and it might take you 5 hours, it might take you 10 because your arm, runs out. The fucking swim is what looked so fucking miserable because we can all relate, any one of us that have done any OCR, but specifically World's Toughest, and have had to do some kind of like for, just a few feet for, let's say, Statue of Liberty, or even just coming out of like turducken, just like full body submerged. So that was what, 4 miles or 7K of like, oh my God.
I think about the Killington swim, right?
Right. There you go.
Okay. All right. I swim 100 yards out and 100 yards back.
Right.
It's like, okay, do that 40 more times and then triple that. It's like, holy fuck. Like some of the legs, Bear's just like, now they've got a 100K bike. Like, and I was like, I found myself cheering them on when I was like, all right, now we're getting into like the 75K, like trekking section. I was like, let's go guys, run. Like you can totally catch them.
Right.
I think,
how is do you have K to miles in your head yet? Cause I still do not. I'm still pulling out my phone.
Pretty much. Like when it's like 72, then it takes me a second to do sort of the calculation, but in most cases, yeah.
Okay, I'm not very good.
I mean, use the numbers 5K's 3 miles, 50K's.
Right, that's what I would try to do. But then my head starts to drift.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, I know you don't want me to pay attention to the YouTube, but the YouTube loves this idea, so they're all about it. Britt would be the pit crew. Michael Nolan volunteers already. Yeah, you know what? I would actually couples.
I think
Molly, right now, Patagonia 2021, are you in? She gets a thumbs up.
You know what? I think would like to be the pit crew. I think that would be fun to like take care of everybody and be like, come on, you can do it. Like, I think that might be fun.
The first thing that I sent to Rhea when I saw them on screen, when they finally started getting coverage, they pull into that first camp and their pit crew guy's there. He's like, hey, what do you guys need, Rhea? Just being Rhea. She's like, food, hungry. Oh, that was amazing.
Do you want to do a brief impression where I'm Bear Grylls and you're Ryan Atkins for next year, or I can be Ryan and you can be Bear Grylls? Like what the interviews are going to be like?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't.
Because Ryan does not give you a lot mid race.
Yeah, that's
one thing I kind of liked was these teams would like come into a stop and they'd see Bear, and they were not stopping to talk to Bear. They were like on the mission. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a lot, like towards the end, there was some where they were like, "Oh, hey Bear, what's up?" But sometimes it was like, "Yeah, it's tough. We'll see you later." Like they're eating, they're moving, like they're on purpose. I love that.
I mean, I loved that they just brought Bear out on location to a lot of these races. They're like, oh shit, fucking, Team Onyx is in the middle of having to decide whether they should drop. Let's fly out there. They fly out Bear, and he's there having a conversation. But like, he'd be out, I say on the course, he's probably right nearby the camps and checkpoints. But like, he's out there being like, you guys have to do this. Like, you've got to get along. And it was like, the one moment that I loved with him was the dad and the two daughters. Was it Able Ables? Was it Team Able Ables?
Worst team name. Sorry, guys. Worst team name. You could have done so much better, Ables.
I mean, we can go through and find a worse team name, I'm sure. But the moment where the sister, because I'm sure every time you hit a checkpoint, right, they probably have mandatory interview time where you got to go over and say your little bit, like they do on every reality show. Where the sister was doing the interview and Bear was like, "I'm going to go say hi to her right now." And he pops up and she's like, "Oh, hi, you're here." Like, right, that was a genuine, like, super exciting moment. I really like that. Yeah, I mean, I was a big fan of it. I loved everything about the show. And
you're so negative and hateful. I'm so surprised that you're so much enjoying this.
Yeah, but like these shows to me, like reality TV can suck a nut, but I love like reality competition. You're always going to get storylines. They're always going to focus on the underdog and the folks with the tragic backgrounds. You're always going to get that. So I think maybe I'm numb to it at that point. But I just loved everything about it.
The more we talk about it, I guess the more I like it. I think it was.
What about Team Science winning? You like that one over Able Ables?
For worse? No, I'm saying that your last name's Able. Come on. Like, you could have had so much more fun with that than just Able Ables. You know what I mean? Like, you could have been
Team Ombre de Maze. Is that Team Corn, or is that wrong?
Stop looking at the team names, Josh.
Sorry.
So for those that want to know that spreadsheet we're looking at, there's a gentleman who put that together who is like trying to get all the times and stuff. I'm going to link him on my site where I have all the stuff. And then I think that was a big complaint too. Give us the leaderboard at the end of the day. But that was a big one, right?
Yeah, the leaderboard, only seeing it like at the two different positions, right? At like the first camp and then not that. They did jump around a lot. I think you just kind of have to do that in terms of the way the production is. It's constantly like, here's Team New Zealand leading the way, 150 kilometers back. Here's so-and-so,
150 kilometers back
ahead.
At checkpoint 21. That's not Bear. That's different English guy.
The other thing is, it didn't seem like you even had to go to every checkpoint. Like, you had to hit every camp. But the way they showed some of these storylines is like Team Curl.
Like, you could take a shortcut.
They just cut right through half the course.
Right.
So I like that aspect of it too. I think that's those like hard decisions paying off big or making you pay big if you do them wrong. Like I like that whole idea of the event too. So.
Right. All right. Well,
I've converted Matt.
I guess it was a big commitment. Like, I knew our job was to talk about it. My job was to talk about it. So it was a big commitment to get through those episodes. And so after Ray and Ryan came in, it was like, ugh, do I really need to see 2 more episodes? And someone said, well, I just fast forward through the sob stories. I'm like, well, that's pretty much the whole show. I don't know how you fast. It's not like Ninja where you can just, get to the runs. You kind of have to watch the whole thing. So I guess the more I think about it, the more I liked it, especially compared to Ninja. Let's move on, Josh.
Okay.
What's going on with Epic Games, Josh? Back into Game Corner. Very near and dear to my heart. My son playing an awful lot of Fortnite, and because we punish him by taking away the PS4, he has found on his school computer, which blocks almost everything, some cheap ass version of it that he plays with River now. I don't know what it's called, but it's this really cheap ass version of Fortnite. But why is Fortnite no longer available in the iTunes store, Josh?
This is one of those stories where like I play some video games, but I'm not like as connected to the industry as I used to be. But Josh, you, of the two of us, you are the gamer. Oh yeah, I am the industry expert.
I hear you chatting about games in the Discord, so I know that you're into this.
Yes. this is the Napster moment of video games.
Okay.
And I'm surprised nobody's made this comparison. I should just be a goddamn journalist myself.
You should.
So here's the thing. We've talked about this, right?
I'll pay you in free races. Go ahead.
All right, cool. When we download an app, right, we pay $2.99 for that app if we pay for it. Apple Store, being the monopoly that they are, right? They are the platform to get your app onto an iPhone or iOS device. There is no other way to get an app onto an Apple device without going through the App Store. Now, Apple takes a 30% cut from any revenue that comes through the App Store. So if you sell an app,
that's a big
chunk. If you sell an app for $3, $1 off the top goes to Apple. I know that's not exactly 30%, but round numbers. If you're a larger company, you strike a wholesale deal, 15%. But the other piece of that is anything you do that involves revenue through your app, that cut goes to them as well. So you download Fortnite, Fortnite's free. Within Fortnite, you can go to the Fortnite store and buy these V-Bucks that Matt probably forks out, precious cereal dollars for every now and then. That money spent, Apple takes a cut of as well. They take 30%. So essentially, these companies are like, Apple, you're fucking us because you give us no choice. In order to be on your platform, right, we have to go through your app store. It's sort of like extortion to an extent. So Epic Games says, okay, you know what? We're going to bypass that. We're going to go ahead and do our own purchase process. You buy it through the Epic Store, and then it'll show up in game, and boom, there you go. Apple says, nuh-uh, that's not part of our policy. So we're going to take your game off the store. And say, okay, you just had to stand up in front of Congress and preach about how you're not violating antitrust laws. Well, now we're going to sue you. Like this has all been planned by Epic. And let's not pull any punches here.
How long had they not been sharing the in-store purchases?
It just happened. It just happened 2 weeks ago, where they moved over to their own platform.
So Apple just noticed that there wasn't as much money coming in. Like, how did this happen? I don't understand. They weren't paying their invoice.
Well, it's when you're raking in billions of dollars every month, and then all of a sudden that revenue stream sort of dries up. I think you notice if you're Apple. Right. And Epic has done this with other PC games and things like that too. They're not the most innocent that's out there, but this is all a very planned structural attack here. So it's like Apple goes in front of Congress and talks about how, they're defending their anti-trade practices. Congress, by the way, not a fan of Apple's when it comes to some of these things. There is no competition in app stores, right? And this goes back to the whole Microsoft Internet Explorer bundling thing. Microsoft had to unbundle Internet Explorer from Windows and be like, let customers pick their own web browser. And now we do, and Internet Explorer is now dead. So Epic launches or detaches their revenue stream from the App Store days after Apple has to stand up in front of Congress. Apple says, all right, well, you're off the App Store in that case. Epic says, that's fine. We're going to sell our stuff, and we're going to do it at a 20% discount to our customers because fuck you. We're not going to give you 30%, but we'll give our customers 20% off. And then Apple goes, okay, we're going to pull your entire developer account. You can now put nothing on the App Store, Fortnite, anything, whatever it is. So Apple, they doubled down. They're like, all right, you don't want to play? You're fucked. You're done. So now Epic sues. This is one of those moments where one of 4 things will probably happen. None of them are good for Apple. Apple's either going to have to reduce how much commission they take, and they can't do it for one company. You have to do it across the board. Otherwise, you find yourself probably in very legal hot water. Epic doesn't come back to the App Store, and then is fucked at that point. But the other thing is Epic is owned by a Chinese company. Well, not owned, but partially owned by a Chinese company called Tencent, Tencent. They're not necessarily known for being very honest either. China is gathering all of our information and all of our buying habits and all of this data on us and using it in nefarious ways, much like with TikTok. But this is a definite Napster moment. I think this will ultimately lead to one, less commission for Apple on these apps and the recurring revenue, but ultimately probably more app stores being available on Apple devices in the future, which I think is worst case scenario for Apple.
More app stores?
Yep. Like, because think about it, Matt. If you want an app right now, what do? You go to the Apple App Store.
I do.
So if I'm a tiny developer and I have a team of 3 people writing code for this app that I want to launch, I have to go through Apple's review process and I have to give Apple 30% of my money.
I'm going to give you a real world example.
All right.
Don't know if this has been brought up on this program before. Once upon a time, in early days of internet. What's that?
I had a staffing company.
Not I had a staffing company. In the early days of internet, my friend Tom was a big hit with a website called duty.com. Different Tom. Duty.com, still a website, but certainly the shock value of having a website called duty.com. Don't go there if you're squeamish. I'm squeamish. I like Tom. I can't watch that content. However, his second sort of big hit was a site called Whack Your Boss, where it's a series of, I think we could actually show this. It would be fun, Josh. Why don't you share your screen? Because I think it'd be more fun if you play it than if I play it. So go share your screen and type in whackyourboss.com and you'll pick a thing and Josh will do it. Let's go ahead and bring it up here. This will be fun. Waiting for Josh to share. Not on your phone. Do it on your laptop.
Well,
Whack with an H. W-H, I think. W-H? I don't know. Just Google it.
The way you spell whack. Yeah, I got it.
Okay. So share it.
I don't think it's an interactive game anymore because it's just telling me to download it on the App Store.
You sure?
Yeah.
Sure, you're not looking at the wrong one. He has lots of copycats.
Share my screen. Even though this makes my computer melt. So now you're looking at my screen. Whackyourboss.com.
Okay. Go to YouTube.
Everybody, Tom.
That's Tom. Yep. Go to YouTube. Maybe because you can see people playing it on YouTube.
Whack Your Boss 2, the official.
Josh, much like Jack Bauer, lots of inappropriate links, podcast listeners.
Not true at all.
Who are you going to believe? Jack and Josh,
I'm not even,
known liars, or me. All right. Well, it's a very funny game. All right. You walk around the office and you touch things. So if you touch the computer, it then beats the fuck out of your boss with the computer. I've lost Josh.
No, I'm here.
If you touch the umbrella, it then fucking like hilariously, violently. It's very funny and very good. And lots of copycats, which is how you know it's good. But anyhow, early on, couldn't get on the App Store. Too violent. I just made air quotes. And he was pissed. He's like, this is how I make a living. And I think it was 99 cents, for the download. And so he had to make a PG version. I guess now he doesn't have to make a PG version, but then he whack your ex, and he has a Trump game on there now. But I remember him being very upset because they hold the keys. He's a small business guy and they're everything. I'm not sure I want to get into the Congress end of it, Josh, because Congress likes to basically grandstand and wag fingers. And meanwhile, these people are, swindling money, sleeping with interns, all the horrible shit that goes along with being a congressman. And then they want to wag fingers at fucking, Zuckerberg or, the oil industry. Or, even when they're right, I just don't believe them. Because
listening to Congress like grandstand about technology, like when they were interviewing the dude from Google, I'll butcher his name, so I don't know off the top of my head. The dude from Google last year, the congressman is like, I have this iPhone and my kids can go and click on an ad and it brings them to like the Democrat National Convention website. And the guy's like, that's an Apple phone. He goes, regardless. Like, no, not regardless. I'm literally not the company that does that.
That was bad. All right, Josh, do you want to talk about the We Fucked Up video or Spartan Pass 2021 first? Which one would you like to talk about first?
Let's talk about this We Fucked Up video because the Spartan Pass meme is probably going to drop today since we're recording this morning.
Okay.
Or do you know more about it?
I don't.
Okay.
It's in my notes.
All right. You want to take this one?
Spartans. We fucked up.
We done goofed.
We did, but we discussed this at length in a previous episode, which I'll link here. Not really. Hit the bell right now. You explained
It's mash the bell.
No, we're past
that
mash.
Bell icon.
Mashed. We're way past that, Josh. Josh kindly explained last week how Spartan, in an attempt to serve its customers, provide a virtual product, sends you virtual things. Unfortunately, your rogue chips come from this office, your t-shirt comes from this office, and your medal comes from this office. Some people received one, not the other. Lots of upset people. What a surprise. Spartans are upset. So Joe came on to apologize for that. And his solution was what, Josh Chace?
You talking about his unboxing?
I'm talking about his we fucked up video.
Oh, well, I mean, so first off, right? He pokes fun at himself, which Joe doesn't do a ton. Maybe sometimes he comes and apologizes in a rare era. But he makes fun of himself. He gets like this mashed up box of shit on his porch. He's opening it with what appears to be a fucking spear tip, like an ancient Greek spear tip.
Well, he's on brand.
Okay. Yeah, I don't expect anything different. So he's opening up. I think there was like a mushroom in there or something. He's like, what is this shit? There was like trash in there. Virtual Race 1.0 swag. Just the swag was fine. The delivery process and execution was less than ideal, right?
Okay.
You're getting your shirt a week later. One guy sent me a picture of the swag box and the adrenaline shock drink. There you go, Matt. At Eco Challenge in Patagonia, we can just have cases of adrenaline shock waiting for you at the pit area.
I love A-Shock. A-Shock's my favorite.
One guy, his A-Shock, is that what we call it? Is that what the cool kids call it?
I think
his thing had essentially his thing had exploded, and it was just all over the box. The box is like dripping wet. So yeah, they goofed up the delivery. They pulled the whole Joe fire ready aim thing. So now they're out there like 2.0. We're gonna do better. I'm hearing the 2.0 shirts are actually craft shirts, not just cotton shirts with the word craft like stamped onto them. They're actual craft shirts, much like we got earlier this year. The design is still less than is desired, for me at least. Somebody might like it. So they promised to fix that. They promised to make it better. They are sending medals on lanyards now. That was the other thing. Like I got this is my Tough Mudder coin, but I got like a wedge in the mail, and it was just a wedge, like just that in a plastic envelope. I was like, what fucking stupid. What's the point of that? It's now a paperweight on my counter. So they're promising to do better. And there is a Virtual Race 3.0 coming up that I think about. And I think they've sort of murdered the Virtual Race thing. Like they've just hit us with it every single day. And it is sort of enough. And we talked about this last week. But they got to find a new sort of creative, exciting way. I think the whole like challenge your friend, like battle mode type thing is kind of cool, but there's got to be better ways to do this.
Yeah, I mean, I think if that's one thing Spartan knows how to do, it's beat something into the ground.
True.
Sorry, I'm doing a little post here. Oh, shit. All right, so what about 2020?
You mean 2021?
Yes, 2021.
Okay, let me pull up the old email communications. So on Friday, I get an email, and I got a million emails from them. But this one says, "Get ready for Spartan Pass Season 21." A little bit of a weird way to put that.
Season 21?
That's what it says. So it says Spartan Pass Season, and the little.
Wait a minute, you got this via email? Yes, yeah. I got that one.
Yeah. So get ready for Spartan Pass Season 21, it says. One pass, insane perks, 5 days until everything changes. I'm like, shit, that's bold. More races, more trifecta weekends. And I'll say this. 2021 rolls around, we're back to normal, right? Isn't that great?
Maybe.
just hypothetically speaking.
Okay.
Spartan is doubling down. The one thing people always ask for is like, why isn't Parmerton a trifecta weekend? Why isn't Killington a trifecta? Why isn't every weekend a trifecta weekend? Well, dummies, because you devalue your product the more you expose your customers to it, and you're just going to burn people out. There's a reason for that. Well, they said, fuck all that noise. In 2021, there's like 13 trifecta weekends in the US. There used to be 2. So more races, more trifecta weekends, more exclusive perks. Spartan Pass Season 21 is going to blow your mind. There's never been a better way to join our unbreakable community, And it drops in 5 days, which I believe is today, Friday to Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we may know after this what exactly Spartan Pass is. If I had to take a guess, Matt, Joe extended all 2020 season passes to 2021. There's no way they can't raise the rates on the season passes, right? And the rates are pretty high. It's like, what was the age group season pass? Was it 1,200? I think it was 1,200. I don't know off the top of my head.
I had a phenomenal article about this last year. Let me look.
Yeah.
Spartan season.
Yeah, because the elite season pass was 1,500, I think.
So if you go to my article from August 28th, 2019, so almost 1 year ago. Ooh, I have an email pop up in ORM now. Don't hate me. It only took me 8 years to get that. Don't hate me. You can easily X out of it. One wave season pass, sorry, open wave was $7.99. Age group was $9.99.
Okay, $9.99.
$3.49 for a trifecta pass.
All right, so and thank you for saying trifecta pass because that reminds me of something else. So $1,000 for the age group. I talk age group because it's what I do. It's probably the most popular season pass if I had to guess. I bet that price goes up this year. I mean, hands down, it goes up. There's no way it doesn't go up. Now, Joe extends everybody's season pass from 2020 to 2021. If I had to guess, because this is just the mindset I'm in, I bet Joe makes people pay an upcharge to transfer their season pass from 2020 to 2021. What do you think? If the season pass goes up $100, but they took your 2020 season pass and moved it to 2021, do you think he goes, all right, we'll move the value to 2021, but you got to pay the difference, right? Give us that extra $100. What do you think?
I don't know how can he do anything that and not get just sun's coming through.
Lambasted. Where are you, by the way? You look like you're in a basement classroom, some like remedial school.
Well, it's usually facing this way, but the glare that comes off that I thought was not great. So I thought I'd move against the wall here. I should have brought my sticker. I should have brought my safety sticker. You know what? Hang on a second. I'm going to change everything. Nope. It's like this light is not plugged in right now.
Clearly.
I don't know that they can do that. Doesn't mean they won't. What are you laughing at?
Members of the Discord are now posting Google Map locations of the nearest Dunkin' Donuts to Patagonia. Patagonia. Yeah.
I want to give a shout out, by the way, to Michael Nolan. Michael Nolan doing a lot of commenting in the chat. So I want to let you know that we see you, we hear you, we love you.
We're just not paying attention to you.
No, I am paying. If I look the whole time, it'll drive me nuts. I looked once in a while. I don't think he's going to do that, Josh.
All right. Well, we're going to know today at some point. Today, possibly. I think Gary is holding off on the meme until we hit stop on the broadcast.
I think we've covered all the topics.
I think we have hit on most of the topics.
Oh, wait. There's one more topic, Josh. Woke/unwoke corner, Josh. My understanding is that, like everything in this world, we've gone way too far. People can't take a simple, we're finding out what's okay. I don't even know if I want to do this topic, Josh. I don't even want to do this topic. I won't do it unless you want to do it. We can save it for another week or not do it. Whenever we say we save it for another week, it means we're never going to talk about it. And now you're frozen. Well, folks, I'm going to sign off. So you're never going to know what that was. Oh, he's coming back.
My computer exploded.
Okay.
I'm back.
Okay. I'm going to pass on this topic, Josh, unless you really want to talk about it. I've decided while you were gone.
That's probably a good idea.
All right. We're going to pass. You'll never know what it was. We're going to pass. Josh, give people the shout out on the old Discord.
How to join the conversation, you ask. Easy. The website is bit.ly/OCR chat. Join up. There's nothing else to do. You're not doing anything else. We are apparently, all of us, running ultra marathons, half marathons on October 10th. It sounds like everybody has a race on October 10th or October 11th.
Yeah, we couldn't find any. There's no OCR, so everyone's doing a fall ultra.
So you're running, what is it, the Blue Ridge Ultra?
Blue Ridge, Georgia, October 10th.
I'm running the Mine Falls Ultra here. A bunch of other people are running a race that day. Yeah, so I guess that's the day. There's an adventure race up in Maine that's on that day that I can't run because I've
in a Gunkwit.
No, it's in I don't know, some moose knuckle
Biddeford
or some Biddeford. That's a good one. Sweet name drop.
Portland.
If it was Portland, that'd be great. Go to Duck Fat. People in Maine know what I'm talking about.
All right, buddy. Good talk.
All right.